What if you could clone yourself and finally scale your business without burning out? I'm here with the king of VAs. This man is so good at what he does that he's so good at delegation. He's even fooled me. And right now, I don't know, you can judge for yourself. Am I talking to AI Louis or am I talking to the real Louis right now? And so if you're looking to scale your business, if you're looking to live in your zone of genius, if you're looking to delegate and build systems without the burnout, without the stress, without overwhelm, and build your team, but more importantly, have more freedom in your life and your business, you better strap in because I'm going to interview my superstar student here, Louis. Louis, how do I pronounce your surname? I just mucked it up completely, but could you correct it for all of us?
It's Swart. It's
Swat.
yeah.
What background is that?
It's actually Dutch. It's
Dutch.
actually
Okay,
Dutch.
okay.
It's a Dutch surname. Yeah.
Louis, I said Louis right, like Louis.
Louis is right, like Louis Vuitton, like Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, like Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
This, it's your Dutch surname with a French first name. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Louis Vuitton. Yeah, just the silent S's get me all the time. But that being said, am I talking to the real Louis right now?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, see, or am I
Well,
talking to VA Louis right now?
you can't tell. I sent my mum. I've created a version of me and my voice, and I sent it to my mum, and my mum's convinced that it's me, and she's now going like, "How am I going to know if it's you or not you?" When I get, how will I know if it's you or not you? When I see your videos, how will I know if it's you or not you? They are extremely, extremely close to the real thing.
That's well, I wasn't planning to go down that route, but I think this will be a very interesting conversation. Who would agree that this would be like, do you think this will be very interesting? Comment in the section below. I want to learn more about this because this AI is such a powerful tool. It allows us to, and I'm starting to using, I'm a late adopter, so I've been starting to use it to just really speed up the work that we do and also delegate and automate. It's been so powerful.
Hmm.
But let's talk about that. So, what
Okay.
did you say to your mum, like when she said that?
Well, I mean, I just said you're never really going to know. I mean, we're never really going to know if somebody's real or not real anymore. That time has come and gone. And just a helpful tip, like if you've got family, you need to have a passphrase that you use with your family. You need to have something like, and it's not just a word. You need to have something like,
What's your one? No, don't just
well, what's
don't give us your one. Don't give us your one.
eh? No, but I mean, you might do something like, what's the sky look like today? And you go peach, or you go, what's the sky look like? And you go apple. So it's
Uh,
not something that AI would be able to normally work out. It's got to be completely random, a completely random term. And we all need to have that with our family and our friends. It's a really, really important thing because I can clone you. I could literally clone you, Richmond, in, half an hour. I could have a whole clone of you, not even with you doing anything. Just the clone of you, take some videos off your channel, take your voice off your channel, take your videos off your channel, and then have a clone of you. And then I could get the clone of you to call Tony and say, "Hey, Tony, I need you to transfer some money. I'm about to get on the airplane to Boise, and I need you to transfer $100,000
wow.
into Louis's account. We're doing a deal with him." And and then you'd be out of contact because you'd be on the plane to Boise. And then they'd be like, "Well, Richmond said we got to do it urgent. Louis needs it in the next 2 hours."
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And
Wow.
they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know that it was you. They wouldn't know that I'd hope I didn't give anybody ideas. Don't do that to Richmond.
So would 2FA counteract that kind of stuff?
To some degrees, but remember that what happens is that with the 2FA, we can actually bypass that a lot of times.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
So
Well,
I wasn't
definitely.
really talking about hacking.
Yeah, I wasn't going down this route, but but this is actually really interesting. Okay, so let's touch on it a bit more because I think this will be a great topic because to like AI has never been better before. And tell me how AI has kind of improved your business in VAs. Like, do people still need VAs then, or has the roles of VAs changed?
The role has changed. So I actually got into AI about 2 years ago, created a version of myself, but I was freaked out by the Louis version. So I created a Pixar version of me. So I've got a Pixar version of me that
Right.
that did the talking.
Did it have hair? Could you do whatever you want with
No,
it?
I did initially have hair. I had to say, don't have hair. I created a Pixar version of me, and I could literally, my VA can sit on their computer and they can go, "Hi, Vicky, thanks for doing this. Hi, Richmond, thanks for doing this. Hi, Andrew, thanks for doing this." And my Pixar version of me will say, "Hi, Vicky, thanks for coming to the masterclass. Hi, Andrew, thanks for coming to the masterclass." It'll actually give everybody a personalized message from me. So that was 2 years ago. We already created that, and then between then and now, AI has progressed so much. It's so much easier to make a copy of yourself. But what happened was that it actually freaked me out because, my business is about going to a coach and saying, you need a virtual assistant to help you with all the admin. You need a virtual assistant to help you with the content. And then I went, well, if AI is going to come in and take all these jobs, and even take some of our jobs, how do I get in front of that? How do I actually start using AI? And so I went really heavily into AI. And then I realized that AI isn't quite there yet. And we still need a human to help us to use the AI. So, for example, I say, I made a version of me. I didn't make a version of me. I've got a virtual assistant. He made a version of me. Okay. I create content. I don't do it. I've got a virtual assistant. He uses my stuff to create versions of me. I do the videos, and there's amazing AI that we use. I don't use it. I've got a virtual assistant who uses it. So I realized very quickly that what we need to do is we need to be looking at how do we get virtual assistants and really get them up to speed with AI. Because
Mm.
most of us aren't going to go in there and learn how to use Kling AI and ChatGPT and a whole lot of these things to the full extent. But if we can get somebody who knows how to do it, imagine what we can do with that.
So the role of the virtual assistant has gone from actually doing the content themselves to now managing AI to do it and make sure it's quality output, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and does that mean like this opens a door for basically any entrepreneur, like any coach that's whether or not you're starting on zero? Because in the past, it's like, when you hit it generally, like, because I've been doing this for 8 years, and it's like when you hit 100K, then you hire your first VA, or, when you're about 50K, then because you got the resources and you got the
Mm,
work and all that kind of stuff. But does it mean it kind of opens the door for a person starting out from zero to get a VA straight away? Can you talk about that?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And part of what we do, just so you know, with the virtual assistants, is we follow your content structure. So we've got a 4-pillar approach, and I've actually got a VA university where we bring VAs in and we actually train them in the whole process. And they come in as interns and then they work for us, and then we sort of bring 7 or 8 in a week, and then a whole lot of them fall off, and then we end up with really good ones so that we can put them out to clients. But they already know how to do kind of friend finding. They know how to do chatting to customers. They know how to comment on their posts, and they also know how to do all the content creation. And then we've built all the back end tools. So, for example, if I'm going to comment to you, Richmond, I would go in and just copy a whole lot of your comments you've already done. And then I would build an AI platform. So I would just go into ChatGPT and then build in your persona. And I'd sit with you, and we basically can just take a post and paste it into ChatGPT, and it'll give us the comment straight away. And then we look at the comment and we say, does this sound like Richmond? And then you go, no, it doesn't. I don't kind of use those words. Maybe I'm a bit more abrupt, or I'm a bit more friendly. And then we change the AI so that it actually suits. And we get to a point where we can literally go in and copy someone's post, put it in there, gives us a comment. Take that comment, put it onto that post. Take the next one, copy it, put it in there. So it reads the whole post, acknowledges the post, and there's a prompt that we acknowledge it, and we, then create a post, and we're trying to promote our business. So the whole thing's done like that. So once we've created that prompt, you can imagine you can comment on like hundreds of people's posts really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And each one's an individualized one. It's like you've kind of summarized the whole thing. So
Wow. That's so cool. So
yeah,
what's a good VA? Like you mentioned, like you get people through the university and it's 17, 18 a week, and what makes a bad VA? For anyone who's thinking maybe I should try this on my own, which I'll talk about your challenge that you do in a second too, because I personally wouldn't want to do it. I'm not a HR person. I don't want to hire people, just yeah, that's
I've got
that.
VAs that do that. I've got VAs that do all that. So
Ah,
I've got a team of VAs that actually do the hiring. They hire the people, they put the people in, they manage the people. I've got like a cultural appropriation lady, because between Australia and the Philippines, say the Philippines, people are lovely, but they just say yes. You say, "Can you do this for me?" They'll go, "Yes," and then
Even if they can't.
they can't do it. And then they'll just sit there, and then a week later, you'll be like, "Where's that document?" They'll be like, "Oh, I don't know how to do it." And you'll be like, "I've lost a week. Like, what the hell's going on?" So,
I I've definitely experienced that,
yeah.
and I did not get angry. Not. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
then
that's where the cultural appropriation lady who
ah
basically works with them. And then I have a VA coach. So I have a coach that actually is trained in all your ways, Richmond. And pretty much if I put a VA into somebody's business, I have a VA coach overseeing that VA.
wow. How many people in your organization right now?
I've got about 50 in the Philippines. I've got 10 in Egypt. I've got some in South Africa.
Wow. Did you say 50? 50.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only little still.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. And then in some in Egypt and then some in South America, did you say?
South Africa.
Oh, South Africa, South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool, so cool. Okay, what are some misconceptions about then delegating and hiring? Because I think it's important for when even when someone's starting on zero, because right now you need to get that advantage. You need to move fast because otherwise you're
Mm.
going to be left behind. What are some misconceptions?
I can do it all myself. People have the belief that they can do it all themselves. And so they end up being everything in their business. They end up being, the cleaner, the marketer, the tech guy, the intern, and then they get burnt out. And then they're like, I don't know why I'm getting burnt out, but they're getting burnt out because they're doing 10
Mm,
roles and they've only got one body. And so that
yeah.
just doesn't work. Some of the other misconceptions is that you can just hire anybody. You can just hire anybody to do it. Some of us, like we are big picture people and we're like, this is where I want to go. And then we need a VA that's actually not a big picture person. We need a
That's
VA that
that's a
goes,
good point.
how are you actually going to do that?
You want to hire someone not like you, right? Like, so
Yes,
it's a mistake people make is I want to hire someone like Louis or like Richmond that has the same skill set, but then why would you pay for someone that you're a genius in, right? Like,
absolutely.
and does that
Absolutely.
mean you won't get along with them, or like does it mean you have like won't agree with them all the time because they're so different from you?
In the interview, you might feel like they're the right person straight away. Because if I'm a big picture person and I'm talking to you, Richmond, I want to talk big picture. You talk big picture, we love each other. But I
Yeah.
talk big picture and you're like, okay, Louis, how are you actually going to do that? And I'm like, man, like seriously, mate, like move on to the big picture. But the same is on the flip side. If I'm a detailed person, then I need a big picture VA. I need a VA who's going like, okay, where are we going with this thing? So we need somebody that's almost like the opposite of what our personality is, so that they can
Wow.
complement us. Because remember that I think a lot of people start working, we start coaching, and it's a very lonely thing. I'm sitting at home and I'm coaching and I'm doing a couple of Zoom calls and I get a client and I'm like, yay, and we've got the P1 community, which is phenomenal, okay, where you can say, hey, I did amazing. But most times it's just there's nobody there holding us accountable, and there's nobody there to talk to if we have a failure or if we have a success. And having a VA, you immediately got a team. So immediately you've got this person
Yeah.
who's going to share with you in the amazing things and be there sad with you when they're not
I can
amazing.
testify to that 100%. I will say right now that I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing, but like a lot of the good news and even bad news, but mainly the good news that comes, like I share it with my team first before I
Yeah.
even share it with Penn. And most of the time I do that because Penny's not at home and I usually wait, or whatever, she's out and then I'll share it when she gets home or when she's available. But I can share it with my team straight away, like on my phone, you know what I mean? So, and that's the rewarding part about the team. Okay, can you quickly talk? I want to talk about your challenge because I think a lot of people will be wanting to learn more about your challenge. I'm genuinely curious about it. The misconception of I can do it better than my VA can, and whether that's true, even if it's true, like, can you talk about that? That stops people from hiring a VA. Like, I can do it better. I may as well just do it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so when I was a younger man, I had a guy working for me, and it was terrible. And then I went through a first person and a second person and a third person, and then I met an old guy that was really experienced, and he said to me, Louis, I said I can't find anybody. They're all freaking idiots, man. Like nobody will do work like I do. Nobody wants to work like I do. And he goes, Louis, you're never going to find somebody to work like you do. It's your business. You're happy to work 24 hours a day for like a minimum wage. Okay, so. He said, you're never going to find anybody to do that. You're just not going to find them. So he said, if you find somebody, do you think they can do 60% of what you do? And I said, yeah, I think somebody could do 60%. And he said, all right. So you hire them, and now you're able to do 160% of what you could do before. And now you
Oh,
hire a second person who can do 60%. Now you're able to do 220% of what you could do before, and so forth. So they're potentially not going to do it 100%. Nobody's ever going to do it 100% like what you do it. But if they're doing 60% of what you do, it's increased your productivity massively. And that
mm,
was a really big lesson for me. So it was really just about hire a lot of 60% people. And, I've had people work for me who had an ATAR. I had two guys work for me. The one guy had an ATAR of 98.5%, and the other guy had an ATAR of 98.2%. And the one guy said the other guy wasn't that smart because he got 98.2. And I mean, they were working for me for $27 an hour. And
wow.
you go, well, I mean, I just passed. I didn't get any fantastic marks at school, but it's all about finding that right. You just find the right people. There's amazing people out there that are willing to work for you for very, very minimal money.
Wow, 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 wow. That's so cool. I can imagine an interview happening. It's like these 10 questions. Yep, you got six right, you're in. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, you're good, you're good. Which is like in university, that's a borderline pass or fail, whatever it is, right? Yeah. That's so cool. All right, let's talk about your challenge. Do you do both group challenges and one-on-one tiny challenges, or is it just one-on-one
I'm
tiny?
still doing one-on-one at the moment. So
It's
I
you
do
doing it? Is it you doing it or your VA?
I do it. I do have
Ah,
my VA do some of it, but I do
ah, good.
I basically but I mean I use AI. So
I didn't even know that.
I've created a GPT that I use, and literally I could sit with you for 20 minutes and I could create 6 months worth of content.
Wow.
And we use all the NLP principles and everything. So how it works is we go, who's your niche? What's the service you provide? And then we go, what's their top 10 fears, frustrations, dreams, and desires? And we put that into a table that immediately gives us video content, like thousands of pieces of video content. And then we create hooks from there, and then we create stories because we all learn by stories. And then from there, we go into creating the posts. So by the time it comes to the posts, they are really, really well structured. And that whole process takes 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Wow. So someone could get into your free one-on-one tiny challenge with you, which means I'm guessing it's only going to be limited spots because it's done with you. So your time is finite. This is pretty crazy. So whether you're an entrepreneur that's or global coach that's starting out from zero, or you're scaling and you're just overwhelmed with it all, and you had some of those misconceptions that I can do it all on my own, or I can do it better myself, or I can't find the right people or whatever that story is going in your mind, I can assure you that this will give you the freedom that you're looking for. So, how do people contact you? Is it a DM to you or something else?
They can just contact me on Facebook. I've got louiszoom.com. You can just go to Louis Zoom and then you can join masterclasses, my Facebook, contact me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool domain, louiszoom.com with the S there. Don't forget the S, the silent S, louiszoom.com. But also send him a DM. You got his connection here on this post here and DM the word VA challenge, or you can comment below VA challenge and he'll get you sorted. Because at the end of the 5 days, what kind of transformation can someone expect to achieve at the end of the 5 days?
Most people come into it thinking that they can do it themselves, or a large portion come in and say, look, I'm not ready for a VA. And then after the 5 days, they realize just how much they desperately need a VA. Okay. And then they get a VA, and then I have a coaching program where I can help them to actually put that whole transition in, where we integrate the VA completely into their business, so that you pretty much go from not sure what your high and low value tasks are, all the way to knowing exactly what you should be doing. And we've got some basic formulas. One of the ones we use, Richmond, is the 2,000 hour formula. And the maximum time that you could work is 40 hours a week, like 50 weeks a year, which gives you 2,000 hours. Say you want to earn $100,000, you've got this $100,000 divided by 2,000 gives you $50 an hour. That's your new benchmark. So if you're doing work that you could get a VA to do for $8 an hour, it has to go down. it can't help but go down. But if you're doing, if you got your benchmark at $50 and you're doing 50 and $100 jobs, it has to go up.
Wow.
So what's
Wow.
that benchmark? How do we help you set that benchmark? And once you know the benchmark, any job that's worth less than that, you need to delegate. And then we help you either delegate to AI or delegate to a virtual assistant.
Wow. 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 Does it include like going to the bathroom, like get a VA? I'm going to the toilet right now. I'm doing number two. It's going to take me 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, I just lost $200 or something. Cool. Louis, this has been an amazing interview. This has been so useful. Personally useful for me as well because I, number one, had to break through all those barriers, but also as I grow, like there's that new layer of letting go and surrendering and also, building your team as well. And you've got a much larger team than we do here. Like we only got 17 full-timers and most of them are VAs and you got like 70 or 80, whatever it is, like it's crazy amount. So super cool leadership from you. Guys, if you found this super useful, just type in valuable on the comment section below. Reach out to Louis directly or just comment the word VA challenge below and get involved with his one-on-one tiny challenge. He's not going to be doing this forever. He only takes limited spots because it's done with him himself. This man is a very high level person. He will never tell you how successful he is, but he exited a company that he sold for multiple eight figures. And so I think you're going to be very well surprised and also pleasantly pleased that you're going to get some amazing results through this challenge too. So reach out to Louis. Louis, thank you for jumping onto the podcast.
Thank you so much, Richmond. I really, really appreciate you and just all the stuff you've done for me. Incredible. So
Appreciate you too.